I'll never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
What's good, YouTube? My brothers.
How you doing, my brothers?
You too.
What's popping?
So, mano.
Let's give this a few minutes. Let some people get up in here. And then
the Westies, West Texas Burrito, Bobby Barbarian. Good to see you, brothers.
What's going on?
The Endo and Vito.
The Endo in the house. The Endo bringing memories to me. Thank you for that video, bud.
BK Skip, Anthony Elliott.
What's going on, bud?
JTP, Scott Bell,
JTP.
The real Bofa, the Bofalologist.
OC's in the house.
Angela, OC, BK Skip.
Definitely.
Bofa.
OC, yep. Bill Jordan.
Hey, the no-fly Rican guy. Hey, there he is. So what's up, gentlemen? We got a good crew coming in.
Yes. We got a very respectable guest, man. I have a great deal of respect for.
Get my stuff. So, gentlemen, without further ado, we got our special guest coming on, and I'm going to pop them on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you tonight?
How are you, Dominic? How's everything?
All right, pleasure to speak with all of you.
Likewise, sir. Welcome.
Dominic, it's a pleasure to have you on the No-Fly Zone.
No, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the invitation, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting, that's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Most
Well,
definitely.
Dominic, we have we wanted to bring you on because we hear so many things about the We Push Back movement. Now, me, just like my brothers here, we don't go with that hearsay or this one said this is that group is this and this group is that. No, we rather hear from the horse's mouth. What is the We Push Back movement and what does it represent? This is what we want to know.
Sure. To sum it up on your show, it's basically offering a voice for anybody impacted by somebody, a lying informant. If somebody was put away based on their lies, what I wanted to kind of create is a comfort zone for any family, friends, attorneys, defendants, anybody where if they're hearing things online and hearing all this misinformation being spread on their behalf or the family's behalf, they have somewhere where they could go, where they could talk about it and give their side of things. It's not to convince anybody that somebody's lying. It's just to show the other side of things. It's to show that the informants have been on here for years and years, telling all their tales. And now's the time for people to say, hey, you know what? That's not accurate. That's not true. And it also allows for families to vent and to say things they've experienced, like Angel Gotti. She experienced some horrible effects based on lying informants. So it really just creates that type of atmosphere and just about bringing awareness. And all the different content creators do that in their own special way. Like on my show, I try to be more streamlined. I try to go by facts. I bring up transcripts. I try to show examples. I try to create a more professional outlet. Everybody has their own different style. You have some channels that may use humor. Some channels may use variety. So it's really just about bringing attention to what we all find common ground on. And what we all find common ground on, those who are lying, we don't agree with a lying informant. We just don't agree with that philosophy. It's not for us. We're not telling people hate rats. If you ever hear my shows, I never even use the word rat because that's so typical. They would expect somebody like me to come out and say rat, rat, rat. So I just don't talk like that. And my basis isn't to convince anybody not to like informants, like informants. My whole purpose is simply, okay, you heard their side. Now here's our side.
That's like I said, that's what I wanted to hear, because like I said, you hear people describing it, and you know, you got people that make fun of it, you got people that don't support it, that want to turn it around. You know how that works.
Absolutely. And just like any other, when you think about it though, that's nothing new, right? There's a lot of different causes out there, and they all have opposition. I mean, even look at the political parties, right? They all hate each other. They'll say something's black, somebody else will say it's white, they'll say it's green, somebody else will say it's yellow. That's just how it goes. So I knew even when I came on with my podcast, I would be up against a lot of adversity and a lot of opposition. I'm okay with that. I chose to do it. So I will never complain about it. I'll never complain about the attacks. I'm built for this. That kind of stuff doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is being true to myself, representing my family, and representing my friends and those who care about me. That's all that matters to me.
And that's what's up. That's stand up, man. To me, that's stand up. You know,
well, thank you.
That's the way it's supposed to be. You know, I just, like I said, you know, I've been watching from the sidelines for a while, and till recently, that I wanted to find out what it was really about. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you hear people that tend to use certain things to their specifics. They'll try to run it and say, oh no, this is this and this is that, this is wrong. But the way you just explained it, you're on the money with it, you know?
Well, thank you. I appreciate
it. But
thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to clarify. And also on the We Push Back channel, I put up a few episodes that will also further enlighten people listening. I did an interview with Frank Morano on his show, and we elaborated. We had an in-depth discussion. So for those who even need further clarity, they could always go to the channel, play some episodes, and it'll really give them an idea of what the totality of the cause is all about. And as I said, what I like personally is it means a little something different to everybody else. So each member comes on here, even though we all agree with the same core value and the same core consensus, they'll vent or they'll represent themselves in different ways that they want to express. So I welcome that. I enjoy that.
I got you. Gentlemen, you got any words over here for Dominic?
Yes. I've been a fan of Dominic Craig for a while. I think he's a respectable, honest, honorable gentleman. He's always carried himself like a gentleman. And
thank you, Carlos. And the feeling's mutual, pal.
Appreciate that. And my feelings specifically, I've been on this mob genre and this YouTube journey for about a year. And my feelings regarding government cooperating witnesses has never changed. It has never wavered. I know they're not okay with me. Being somebody that did some time because of a government cooperating witness, it's not acceptable. I can't have any as a friend. I don't knock somebody if they choose to have one as a friend. So as far as my brother Lou, he took one and decided, this guy is changing his life. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. I never looked at him any different for it. I would tell him, that's just, I can't do it, but I'm not going to look at you any different. I'm not going to tell you who you can choose as a friend and who you can't. I was like, but be careful at the end of the day. And he took that advice, and he respected it. But he since then has wavered. He's caught a lot of backlash, and he still has backlash to this day for his affiliation with this particular government cooperating witness, But as far as us three here, we're all in agreement. It'll never be okay with us. We will never platform them. We will never support them. We will never bring light to them.
Right. And I think, but, a lot of people look to condemn that. And I look at that a little differently. Like if Lou had a different perspective, say you had a different perspective 7-8 months ago. For me personally, I find nothing wrong with somebody changing their opinion based on receiving additional information and gaining more facts. To me, that shows a sign of intelligence. I think when somebody sits back and they say, hey, you know what? This isn't what I thought. Now I'm getting more information, and I perhaps don't agree what I initially agreed. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I got many emails from people who would tell me, hey, Mr. Korea, after listening to your podcast and you enlightened me on several things, I now see that a lot of the times the governments use these lying informants, and I appreciate your information. People like that should be welcomed, because that's one of my goals. My goal isn't to sway anybody or have them change their opinion based on my words. No, my goal is just to present all the information. And then if that individual receives my information, goes and looks into the other podcast and obtains more data, and then they decide, hey, you know what? I realize that I align a little bit more with what Dominic's saying, and that's really what I feel is true to myself. You can't knock somebody from my world. That's just the way I operate. I don't knock somebody from that. For me, everybody's welcome to change their opinion and realize based on information they were thinking about things a little differently.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure to have you here. What I wanted to say was I always was a big fan of you. Fighting for your dad. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you know some of my messages I used to put, because I used to be real big on that. I still am real big on that. But so in my case, I think it had something to do. I gave the man the benefit of the doubt, but it had something to do more with myself. And what I mean by that is that me, obviously I've been out of the joint for almost 5 years now. I'm not involved with no criminal activity, and for me, I think I was looking at it like it was growth within myself, because I've been told on by somebody that was a family. He wasn't actually blood at the time. He was a good friend of mine, but then later his sister ended up marrying my cousin. And so
I'm
now
sorry to hear you had to experience that. Sorry.
And on top of that, he wasn't even fighting the case, bro. He just did this to do it, just to work for the cops. He did this. He brought me to if one day I'm gonna look for my transcripts from the court, and he brought them to my attention. He brought me to their attention. They didn't even know who I was or anything, because I was living in another town. But anyways, I gave this man the benefit of the doubt, because I looked at it like, yeah, he's changed his life. He has kids now. He didn't have them before. And, I was looking at it like I was forgiving this person that did that to me, like with using him though. And when it came down to it, no, the man ain't changed at all. You know what I'm saying? He's still threatening people. And when he made those comments about you and your father and the movement, it made me sick. You know what I mean? I mean, it really bothered me for like a good 2 weeks at least. I mean, every time I spoke to my brothers right here, I couldn't help but bring it up, because I had to vent about it. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe it. It was despicable to say shit like that. If you gotta, and then also to say that you were threatening people's families. Come on,
yeah,
man.
which is completely the two things on that, completely not true, and just out of my character. That's just not even my character. I don't associate with that. That's not how I conduct myself.
Just despicable. It's just a terrible, despicable low blow to like come at you like that. You know what I mean? And it ain't stop. It just continued with the bullshit. With the threats and shit. You know what I mean? And so I can be a man. I made a huge mistake. I should have never went against my convict mentality, my ideology, because they don't change. He's not out here talking about signing baseball bats and bragging about stabbing this one and that one, but he has made some gestures about, God, and then a few seconds later, I'll shank you in the neck. You know what I mean? Shit like that. But anyways,
yeah, I see a lot of conflicting personalities as well.
Right. And I can't. So my whole thing was, I even made the phone call, and I told him like a man, I said, I can't support that. I'm done. And then of course they tried to, not him, but the other guy tried to switch it up and say that, because I was taking heat because of videos. No, that's not what it was. I could take the heat all day, but I'm not going to take the heat and support those type of statements or him, period. Can't do it. I'm done. And you'll never see me make that mistake again. But I appreciate you. You always come with the facts, just like with the Carmine Persico thing. You brought on his attorneys. You brought on documents. You proved what you had to prove, which we already knew that was bullshit anyways. You know what I mean? And you handle your business from your end is definitely, I gotta say.
I appreciate that feedback. Yeah. Thank you. And you have to realize too, Lou, I wouldn't say so much you made a mistake. I think you have, for me anyway, I factor in a few things. All of us are kind of out of our element on YouTube, right? When you deal with relationships, it's hard to gauge people. In real life, I'm sure we all handle that differently when we meet somebody and we interact. So we have to adjust to that as well. We really don't know who's who on here. You don't know what they're made up of, and you need time to go by to. I always say my positions always sit back. I like to see what people do, and then I go from there, and then I'll make my decision. I want to see if they're consistent. I want to see if they're flip flopping. So I get it. You wanted to change things up, give somebody the benefit of the doubt, and then you've seen something that kind of told you your initial instincts were correct, and there's nothing wrong in that from my perspective.
Right. And you know, and it is what it is. Like I said, I could be a man, and to me though, I feel I made a mistake. It's just me. That's how I feel about it. I should have never, because even the whole time that I was, whatever interactions, however you want to say it, I was still, my inner was fighting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you know,
well, your gut was on target. Your gut was on target.
Right. And then, you know, and then when they say go with your first instinct, most of the time you should believe that, you know, go with that.
Yeah,
but
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I've been told on in the street, like I had mentioned a minute ago. I've been told on in county jail and in the prison, you know, just little things, but it end up turning into something else, because after they come and jam me up and search my area, they find something, you know what I mean? And now I'm in the hole, you know what I mean? But yeah, sure. It's definitely not, that's not what I'm about. I'm not supporting that, and it's not flip-flopping. It's just, because I've never changed on anything I've ever said. I've always said he did what he did. I don't agree with it, and he will have to answer for it if somebody ever comes at him about it. You know, I never like said, oh, well, he had to do what he had to do to save himself, because I don't believe in it. You know what you signed up for. You know what, you know what's entailed. You know the jail's part of it, you know. So, you know, it is what it is. And to say that people need to rot and you belong there with them, and all, that's wrong, man. That's not
right. Yeah. He wanted me to have a RICO conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't get that. And then, like I said, the part that really bothered me was saying that you were threatening people's families. That's bogus, man.
Well, like I told him, Lou, anybody could say anything, and I said it from day one. Post it, prove it, show my comments, show my words. But obviously, that fell on crickets because it doesn't exist.
Of course.
What I find ironic is, from my experience, all the people that are, and I know people don't like to say, oh, there's different sides, but to me, there is sides. People like to say there are no sides, but there is sides. Either you're okay with lying informants, you're okay with that, or you're not, as far as this particular situation. But what I find ironic is I notice that those who tend to think the way we do, we don't force our opinion on others. I don't try to tell people, well, why do you hate that? Why do you like that informant? You shouldn't like informants. Those words never come out of my mouth. But what I do always hear on the other side is them bashing us for not liking informants and not aligning with. And I find that very interesting. They're very hell-bent on convincing people to all like informants and forget what we were taught as kids. And to me, I find that very confusing. I don't know why they're just not comfortable staying in their zone, staying around their supporters and talking about things they want to talk about. They have to do what they can to impact whoever disagrees with them. And I can't relate to that type of philosophy.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed.
Agree 100% on that one.
I absolutely agree. See, my personal thing on it, I was raised since I was little. You be a man. You take accountability for anything you do in your life. You own up to your actions. You take your medicine. And right now, the rat culture, the government cooperating witness culture is so fashionable. It's the new trend. And it's to the point where you have men, and we're not saying that they're choir boys. At no time are they choir boys, but you know, they took theirs. They understood what it was. They understood the lifestyle. They understood the consequences that come with their actions of being in the streets and living that lifestyle, and they've taken theirs. And a lot of them will never come home. Many will die in there. Many have died in there. I can't give light, and I can't be okay with somebody who decided to not only hurt other people to make stuff easier on them. And it would never change. And with all the rats and it being so fashionable, we tend to forget about those men who took theirs, who ain't coming home, who are behind the wall. And the spotlight is on these guys, and it should be for no reason. Now they're on YouTube. Now they have platforms. They're changing the narrative. They're changing their stories. They're monetized. They're actually making this as a living, you know? And my thing is, I would love, and that's where your movement comes in. The government has to do something about this, because it's the government's, it's their fault that this has gotten to the point where it's gotten. They give them so much immunity. They give them so much stuff, you know? And my thing is, what about all the parents of all the families of all the victims? You know, If they could sit up here and they could get money and be monetized and make $1 for it, I think they should be able to pay back. Or if you're going to cooperate and you're going to become a rat, you still will have to do a certain percentage of the time of what you're looking at. And that's what I wish it would tend more to go to.
Right. Well, I agree with you, but I also believe it's like a several tier problem. And what I mean by that is different tiers have to change in order for this to really have some kind of impact. And obviously, first and foremost, as you point out, it has to change on the judicial level. They have to really rethink about prosecutorial immunity. They have to really think about holding judges accountable. They have to think about these things. They have to think about holding the handlers accountable if they know that their informants are lying. So from my perspective, I thought to myself when I came on here, what could be my small part to add to that overall picture of change? And my small part is to appeal to the public. There are organizations that are trying to go for amendments, and they're trying to change laws, and they're trying to change guidelines. There's even judges who are all for it. So I'm involved in things on that level as well. But in my podcast aspect and on the We Push Back, I figured nobody was really appealing to the public, and the power is with the people. So I just want to educate the people, inform the people, and then they decide. And there'll be a lot of individuals who say, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know I had those rights. I didn't know this is what was going on with these informants. So I kind of tackled it almost as if a giant puzzle, and what piece I could contribute to that puzzle.
Right. And like you said, and also it's like you said, it's a tier thing. With me, the tiers are starting with the police when they make their arrests, allowing people to, they push these people to flip, which that's on the people about flipping, but to put wrong and lies and have them lie in the police report, and it goes further. Then it goes to the DA, where they put these guys on the stand with their narrative, knowing that sometimes these guys are lying, or most of the time, and they'll still push the narrative up there, get them on the stand under oath, which is against the law, perjury, right? If you're lying. And then the judge is supposed to be the referee, but a lot of times they're on the side of the DA, of the government, or the state level, the local level, whatever. Yep. And it's a massive problem. It's a massive problem, especially when you got judges talking about, juror 7, you got to go to that vacation coming Friday. Let's get in there and let's make this, come back with go deliberate and come back quick. You know what I mean? Basically.
Absolutely. I actually know of a case where they won the appeal because a private investigator found out that during deliberation, the judge ran into one of the jurors, and he told them, all right, are we going to move this along? You guys going to hurry up? And then they came out with a conviction, and then the gentleman fortunately won the appeal. But I agree with you. That's the problem. Ideally, these judges are supposed to be unbiased, right? Lady Justice is blind, right? She can't see anything. But we all know that's not the reality. That's just not the reality. So I try to just talk about that. And my whole focus is strictly, I'm not asking for anything crazy. All I ask for is what's written in the Constitution, what's written in the textbook actually plays out in the courtroom. And that's why I always say, listen, my pops is no saint. And trust me, if you talk to him, he'll never claim to be. He'll never claim to be. I'm no saint. But what the issue is, get somebody for something they did. You can't just manufacture something, and you can't just throw all this stuff and hope something that sticks because you don't like somebody or you think they're a quote unquote bad guy. That's not how the justice system works. And that's really my only focus. My only focus is, if you're going to bring a case on somebody, make sure the charges equate to the crime, and make sure the evidence that you supposedly have supports that. And if it does, then guess what? Game on. The defense got to do their thing. The prosecution got to do their thing, and we'll see how it turns out. But at least you got a fair shot.
Correct. Firm. I'm behind you on that. 100. Get me for what I did. Don't bring up alleged crimes or things from 2 decades back or what you think I might have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's what hurts the process, because you have a lot of jurors who just go there and they see the defendant, and from day one they have it made up in their head, well, this guy's a bad guy, maybe he didn't do this, but I'm sure he did something, so he deserves to go to jail. And these jurors have to be reminded, no, that's not how the process works. That's not what you signed up for. That's not how the Constitution works. You got to find them guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I do my small part to remind the public of that.
Right. I recently seen something on I don't remember what show it was. It was a little documentary, but they said that a lot of the verdicts are coming back not guilty or hung juries because they're just not believing a lot of these informants nowadays. Do you find that to be true, or?
Unfortunately, a lot of my cases have the organized crime label that I've helped with, and I haven't seen that play out on that side of things yet. I think once you hit with that label, it's really a hard thing to overcome. It really is. Those are the facts. It's a hard thing to overcome. So I haven't seen that play out in my arena, but I have heard what you cited, Lou. I have heard that on certain state levels and things like that, people are starting to pay more attention to police brutality, police tactics, and things like that, which is a good thing. Listen, if it starts on that level, that's a good thing. Maybe it will gradually rise and it will gradually change the mindset.
Yeah, and I also seen New York police were pissed off because they're mandating it now that all interrogations and interviews have to be recorded, camera. And they weren't liking that too much because they can't get away. Obviously, they can't get away with.
And New York has actually done a lot of changes that I'm all for. They changed the discovery reform. They had a Discovery Reform Act, which you would think is a no-brainer, right? But now the prosecution has pretty much 15 days after they indict you to turn over everything they have on you. They could get an extension up to 45 days max, which that's reasonable. If somebody's being charged, they need to see what evidence is up against them so they can decide if they're going to take a plea, go to trial. On the federal level, they have what's called rolling discovery. You could get discovery 1 week before your case. You could get a new informant that you knew nothing about. You have no time to investigate them. And I mean, if anybody doesn't see how that's slanted, I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah, I heard you say that before. That's like that gives your defense team no probable way to put together a defense when they're coming at you a week before your trial. It's crazy. I don't see how that's allowed.
It truly is. And you have to realize on top of that, as you're fighting a defense and you're going through trial, every day you're ordering the transcripts. So you're ordering the transcripts every day, which is big bucks. You're getting that, you're reviewing that with your defense team to go over the informant's testimony. Now they're continuously dropping new discovery on you. So you have to make sure that you have all that done if you're in the middle of investigations or you're in the middle. I mean, it just makes it very convoluted and chaotic.
You're basically always trying to catch up. You're trying to keep. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's wow.
Dominic, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
And your personal feelings on this. In the last couple of days, in this YouTube mob genre, there's been a little shakeup.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the Mob Rats Exposed situation? Because I was taught in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. And what I've seen in the last couple of days is they've labeled him guilty.
Yes.
Of being a racist, being a Nazi for some tattoos. My personal experience with my dealing with that man, he's always been honorable and always been fair with me, have never treated me any different. And that with a lot of subscribers. And I understand certain people have certain ideologies in their life, and eventually they leave, they change. Same way you could be a criminal one day and then all of a sudden leave that alone, become a civilian. I did it.
Absolutely.
And I'm watching this happen all day today. I watched a whole show where he was guilty. There was no discussions about anything because of body markings. Now, I'm not saying those body markings were okay, but me personally, I'm not worried about what's on the arms. I'm worried about what that man treated me, how he treated me. He must be one hell of a good actor because I hadn't seen any of that. And as far as like the derogatory comments every now and then, listen, me and Nelson, we talk about this. I'm Puerto Rican. We come from a Spanish household. We're mixed in our family as far as kids and children and all that. But you know what? We've said it. We've used the word blacks and we've said derogatory terms, but it wasn't necessarily representing of what was in our heart. And I think every nationality has done that one time or another. But that doesn't make you exactly that because you say that. So I want to get your take on that.
Well, I actually, when you get a chance, I did an episode on the We Push Back channel today about this, specifically about MRE, and I'm going to give you my opinion. First, I just knee-jerk reaction. I don't believe headlines. So I'm not going to have a headline determine somebody's label. I don't believe in labeling somebody. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in having a conversation. I speak to MRE. I interacted with him. None of his behavior in all of the time I've seen him on here has represented a white supremacist. Now, I don't hold my tongue. If I thought he was a white supremacist, I have no problem coming on saying, guess what, people? I got it wrong. The guy's a white supremacist. I'm not going to associate that. I want nothing to do with that. If that's what I thought, I'd make it clear. I'd say, hey, I made a mistake. It was my error. That's not the case. I fully in my heart don't believe the guy's a white supremacist. As far as his tattoos, I don't know that stuff. I know he's a huge history guy. I don't know the meanings behind it. But as a friend of somebody I have a relationship with him, I take his word on it. If I tell him, does that symbolize that you believe there's a white power and we're a superior race, and he tells me, no, Dominic, I don't, then that's good enough for me until it's proven differently. If there were people coming out, victims saying, oh, this guy called me that, he tortured me, or he's part of this organization and this is what they did, or he got arrested as part of a white supremacist team, none of those charges were even included. There was nothing tying him to an organization. I pulled his case. I pulled up the docket. There was nothing tying him to that. It was the memorabilia that they took from the house. And from what I saw, they also took a lot of other memorabilia that they didn't mention from the Japanese War and all these other different things. Now, do I collect that stuff? No, it's just not for me. I'm not into it. But I will tell you this. I take my sons to a lot of gun shows, gun and knife shows. They have those stands set up all over. You could walk in, there'll just be a stand with all Germany memorabilia. People collect that stuff. So I know that aspect is legitimate. And again, if I thought MRE in any way was a racist, was a white power guy, it'd be very simple for me. It's not that big a deal. I'm not that vested. I would come on here and say, hey, I got it wrong. Not somebody I'm going to associate with. End of story. I move on. And it's funny you said that, Carlos, about the different lingo and the verbiage that we all use in different cultures. I come from an Italian background. I have Italian friends, Italian community. I was always taught you treat people how they treat you. It doesn't matter what color they are. But I'm sure I've used terms that aren't PC today. I'm sure. I mean, even my own friends will call each other Dago sometimes, WAP or something like that. It's just not offensive. They may say racist terms, don't get me wrong, but I know the person's not a racist. It may just be their verbiage. I may not choose to speak that way, but that may be the way they choose to speak that way. I think there's a lot of hypocrisy, and I think there's a lot of people who aren't being honest with themselves, and they'll heal one term and say, oh, this guy's a racist, but they forget all the times that they use those terms throughout their life, when they're with their friends, when they're playing cards, when they're out hanging out. So I just find that very ironic, and the typical move of projection, putting it on somebody else. And I don't agree with any of that. And if I did think that MRE was this person, was that type of individuals, exactly like I said, no big deal. I'd say I got it wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to move on. That's it.
See, but that's a stand-up thing you just said. Now, the people who are calling them a racist and doing all this nonsense without looking into the facts first, those are the ones that have come at the end of the day when they're proven wrong, and they're going to say, oh, well, we were mistaken. It's okay. No, exactly, it's not right. Okay. Exactly. It's not okay. You just slandered somebody.
Right.
And I also believe, Nelson, we actually saw how the system plays out, the justice system. We saw it live on YouTube. We saw a media headline paint somebody's guilt. That's exactly what I talk about episode after episode. How the media impacts somebody's guilt or innocence. And we saw a little snapshot of that in one day. One day, look how this thing traveled like wildfire.
Yep. And how they just take one part of the story to push the narrative.
Well, that's where it comes down to. When you're seeing this, they're pushing one. First, it was a couple of things. Now, all of a sudden, it's one thing. So that should show you. You know what I mean? Don't jump the gun.
And I'll tell you what I said today, I would have more respect if they took 2 or 3 days, investigated it, and then say they came back and said, you know what? I disagree with you, Dominic. From what I've seen, I think he's a racist. Okay, well, at least you took the time, and that's the conclusion you came to. I'm not going to convince anybody he is or he isn't. I know he's not. For me, I know the gentleman's not. So he's still my friend. I associate with him, and I think highly of the guy. If people want to knock me for that, so be it. I'm not here to win an election. I don't care. But I make my own conclusion. And I think people right away, they didn't know any facts. I saw some people in the chat. The second it was announced, that's it. Everybody in the chat going, oh, he's a rat, he's a racist. They know nothing about it, but that's it. That's exactly what they said. And to me, that's ridiculous.
I had my son got arrested not too long ago, maybe, I don't know, a month or so. And as soon as he got to court, it was his first time ever being incarcerated. And as soon as he got to court, it was dismissed. Everything was dismissed. He had like 7 or 8 charges. And that was just arraignment. So, you know, what? He's a rat. He's a rat too, right?
Yep. Hey guys, I got a quick question for Dominic. Dominic, I'm going to, if it's okay with you, MRE is waiting in the background, so I'm going to pop him on if it's okay.
MRE is my guy. He's always
you got it.
Me.
Welcome, my brother. How are you?
Hi, what's up, guys? JTP, host Lou, Nelson, how you doing?
We're having a little.
MRE, good to see you, buddy.
Subject.
Yeah, I just seen that you went live, and I just got upstairs and I just put it on. I heard JTP talk, and yeah, listen. All right, number one, I have my nieces half. I have a niece that's half black. My niece is a half Puerto Rican. I got friends of all colors. Go look on my page, my community tab. I posted a thing. I says, here's me and all my Nazi friends. There's my 2 Puerto Rican buddies, 2 black guys, and the other Italians, and a half of an Irishman. Like, judge me by my deeds, not because some stupid Nazi zombie tattoos or a sweatshirt or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I said, I'll explain myself to my friends and stuff, but people think that, unsub to my channel and don't watch. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, MRE, as far as you know me and you know I'm a straight shooter, and I think you know that if I thought you were a white
some Klansman, you wouldn't talk to me. JTP'd be like, F off, dude.
Exactly. I don't hold my tongue for anybody, and as far as I'm concerned, when I speak to you, we've had a great relationship. There hasn't been one behavior where I said, oh, this guy's a white supremacist. So that's how I judge people. Others want to judge based on headlines. Hey, that's on them.
And how am I superior than anybody? What makes me superior than anybody else? I don't get that. But they're just grasping at straws. They also said I was a rat. It's like, come on, go look at the case and follow things. Like, no, what happened was I bought guns all legally for 12 years. And all of a sudden, my 1999 marijuana conviction, because they raided my grandmother's house. The weed wasn't even mine. It was my cousin's, but I copped to it. I said it was mine. He was on the ankle bracelet parole. I was a young kid. So I said it was mine. I got 3 years suspended, 3 probation. It was a felony. And from 99. And in a few months, they're going to change that law in my state. And I won't be a felon no more in a few months.
They already did it in California. They already did it in California. Yep. I got like 4 felonies on my jacket that I need to make court dates, and they'll be changed to misdemeanors. So yeah, it's gonna be going other places. Definitely.
All right, the guy Nicky says, how about the video? What video?
The catfish video, I bet you.
The what video?
The catfish. See, they're playing that video where I'm assuming that's the video where you made some comments about a particular woman on the screen. But what has been happening is people haven't gotten into the context of the video in itself. It is a catfish video. And for those who don't know what catfishing is, this woman roped this guy. She basically told him she was this slim, beautiful woman, and she did this for a certain amount of time. And eventually he met her, and she wasn't what she was. And this happens all the time. There are guys who are getting catfished by other men who are coming across as women. So that's the video that they keep referencing with you, MRE.
And she was a fat white lady, and and she was on TV. I didn't make fun of the woman to her face. It was me and my cousin messing around in the basement. I was acting stupid and silly, and I'm like, look at this fat lady. I forget even what I said. You know what I mean? But she was just a big fat lady. How does that? I don't know. And nowadays, it just blows my mind. But hey, if they want to run with that.
Well, I think what's funny about that observation, MRE, is a lot of the people focused on that. I think they need to replay a lot of their episodes and see the words and the verbiage they used on women and how they made certain remarks about women.
Yeah, he said I called her a fat pig. Yes, I called her a fat pig, and I still will stand behind it. She's a fat pig. She catfished somebody. She's a creep. Sorry. Like I said, listen. Anybody feels that way, don't watch the channel. That's all.
Well,
Like judging.
that's how I feel as far as just even optics of it. I explained myself. I explained my position. There's going to be a lot of people who say, oh, well, Dominic's a racist. Guess what? Think I'm a racist. I really don't care. I'm going to live my life the way I am. I'm going to treat people the way I want to treat them. I'm going to continue on my path. So people thinking I'm a racist, it really means nothing to me. What matters to me is the guy who's looking back at me in the mirror. And as long as I know I'm not a POS, then I'm comfortable with who I am.
Yeah, someone says that. How do I think about Catholics who aren't Caucasian? I love my Puerto Rican nun. I love her. Sister is a wonderful person. Like, I don't care what color you are, as long as you're a cool person and I like you. And if you're a nun, I don't care what color you are. If you're from Mars, I'm going to show you respect.
Here's my take as far as you, MRE. When we've known each other for a while, and we've always agreed and to disagree on certain points, but you've never treated me different. And then you've never treated a lot of people different. And now they're using the verbiage. And me and you have agreed upon this. We've talked about this. Yeah. The lingo doesn't necessarily represent what is in somebody's heart.
Yes. Like there's times where I'll say, all right, I will say yam sometimes, but that doesn't always mean derogatory, you know? Like me and my friends of color, we joke around they'll call me Guinea. I was like, yeah, we joke around all the time. And sometimes, yeah, yam, it soon slips out, but that's not the N word in Italian anyways. And maybe I should watch what I say sometimes, but that's just who I am. But I don't mean no harm by it, or I'm not being mean to nobody or nothing like that.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Right. Well, you know how it is in this whole YouTube circus. Everybody turns things around. They say whatever they want to say. They're gonna push their little narrative. They're gonna push it until it blows up.
And there's gonna be people who buy into it, and that's fine. Yeah. Again, it goes back to my point where I'm not concerned who believes it and who don't. I'm not here to convince everybody. Yeah. What I am here to do is offer my explanation and offer my rationale. And those who take it, great. Those who don't. I just find it amazing that people they spiral out of control if you just don't agree with them. I find that a lot of people
they pick and choose. Because listen to this: when the N-word was dropped on Jimmy Calandra's video, right? Like I'm not calling them racist or nothing. The guy said, you know what I mean? Nobody said they just don't like me, and they'll find anything they can to nail me because I go after their favorite stoolies and make fun of the people they watch.
Yeah, I also think a lot of these content creators, some of these new content creators that I won't even address or acknowledge, I think a lot of them are using this to their advantage. I think there's a little more than meets the eye that some people aren't picking up on. And I think they're looking to exploit a certain way. And my thing is, if somebody's insignificant, I make them feel insignificant. To me, won't even acknowledge them, won't even address them. And I think too often than it should be, people get more attention than they're entitled to.
Yeah. Right. And like I always said, if they don't like what I'm saying on my videos, they don't have to watch them.
We're from the greatest country in the world. And we have servicemen who serve and give their life to protect our freedoms. We have the right to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know,
but some people, unfortunately, Carlos, they don't have the intelligence or the maturity level to accept that. I've had many heated debates with people where we just walked away saying, all right, you're not going to see it my way. I'm not going to see it your way. And that was it. That was the end of it. It wasn't, that's a debate. That's how life works. But as you've seen, a lot of individuals can't handle that. If they can't convince you to think the way they do, it's a big problem. It's a big problem.
Oh, how about this, JTP? Even if you're going back and forth, banting with each other and all that, fighting, well, if they can't win and bant, so they're not funnier than you or whatever it is, then they resort to trying to find you and all this stupid stuff. It's like, come on, like you make yourself look terrible. And his whole website, Jimmy's website, is a doxing website. That's what it's a rat doxing website. And all those guys on that stream last night were a bunch of rats and doxers. I don't care how they try to spin it or whatever. That's just a fact.
Yeah, they obviously align with it. So their actions are saying what they believe in and what they don't. And that's fine. That's fine. But when you get when you get people who try to make excuses and say, no, I didn't mean it this way, I meant it. Just be transparent. That's one thing I don't like. I don't like fake. At least be who you are. And I think, honestly, MRE, you're the type of person, if you believe those things, I think you'd be shouting them from the rooftops. I don't think you would care who agreed and who didn't.
I would have never listen. If I was like that, my channel would have never went nowhere because I would have just come out calling people names and racial slurs all the time. Nobody would have watched me. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. They'd be like, "This is just some wacko with 4 subs."
Not only that, I believe that if you did carry yourself and talking in that manner, that people in that area would have came out a long time ago saying,
I would have got killed. Listen, I live in the ghetto. All my neighbors are black, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. There might be 3 or 4 Italians left where I'm at. My neighborhood is, and the neighborhood, all my neighbors are my friends. Also, we got some neighbors a little wacky. Not every neighbor's gonna be good, but I love my neighborhood. You know, I get along with all my neighbors. We play basketball together, throw the football around together, cookouts, the whole 9. This is where I'm from.
right?
Exactly.
That shit bothered. I'm gonna tell you right now. That shit bothered me as soon as I seen that video where they wrote in red. I think it was in red, and they circled all dismiss, and they put rat. I was like, you can't go off that, man. You cannot go off that. And
listen, when you
know, it just it bothered me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they're gonna call me a
got a
rat.
thing on here about Nikki Blade. MRE is not defending Jimmy. I'm not defending Jimmy, but are you sure he doxed you? I'm going to answer that for you, Nikki. When you got a content creator making videos of, what is it, the La Stanza heist or whatever it was, Jimmy, and all of that, that should answer your question.
Oh, no, that. The guy said it 10 times. I'm going to find out who you are, beat you. Come on. Like, let's not be coy here. And let's be honest, your friend Tony joined Lee Cole's stream and said 1,000 times, we're going to find out I'm going to dox you. I'm going to dox you. So, come on, don't be coy, dude. Yeah. Come on. We're adults
that's
here.
That's my thing.
Stupid.
You already labeled that because of markings on your body. Meanwhile, there's individuals who don't have markings like that, but they've proven over and over who they are. They've used that lingo. They've proven they're racist all the time. And these same content creators who say labeling you a Nazi and all that, they have these guys on their channel who've proven with their own words who they are. So the hypocrisy is actually kind of pathetic at the end of the day when you think about it.
Well, Carlos, I think you just hit on a very important point. Take away tattoos, take away news articles. Get an average person who don't know anything about this. Play them one video of the individual you were talking about. Play them a video of MRE, and then ask that person who the racist is. Ask that person.
Yeah, you've never seen. Go back and see if I ever dropped the N-word on my channel. Not once. Not once.
Well, it's not even a matter of him just dropping that word.
Well, I'm just saying, well, they do it. It's been dropped on their channels.
No, you're right. You're right, but I'm going to take it further. Look at how he goes on about things. Look at the degenerate topics and statements that follow up behind.
He threatened to kill Josie he threatened to run a car through her house. You black this, and I'm going to run a car through you. He said the most vicious things about this woman. So those dudes are hypocrites over there, and I don't know what's up with them or what their little coy thing is, but in my opinion, they're clowns. Because if they're hypocrites,
listen, you and I aren't stupid. The members of this panel aren't stupid. I think they all see it.
I think everybody sees it.
It's not a matter of they're saying, oh, he's a racist and I'm against racism. It's a matter of they don't like you, so they're going to use that to their advantage. Because if they were truly against anybody who they thought was racist, they would make a lot of different decisions about who they allow on this show.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like me saying I don't like informants, right? I'm not going to have any informant on my show. Not one. I'm not going to pick and choose and say, well, this one's okay, that one's not. If that's a blanket rule I have. That's just my own philosophy. Whether I'm right or wrong is irrelevant. But that's my philosophy. If I say I don't like this certain type of person, I'm not going to have any of those individuals who represent that on my show.
Exactly. And the whole thing about the circle thing with the rat, and it's just like they lose their own credibility by saying that. It's like, do your research and due diligence on it. Because obviously you were so interested in finding out who I am. Well, do the research and and if I was a rat, do you think I wouldn't? I'd be killed around here if I was a rat. Okay, someone put a bullet in my head.
Right.
this doxing is actually to the point where it's actually despicable. They're in the process now. They're trying to dox Chicago Muscle. They're trying to dox a few others. Some have been doxed, and I've stated my stance on it. I've never been okay with the doxing, but I think that many still don't know what is the true term of doxing. Whether it's a picture, it's information. Can you enlighten us on what's your terminology for what doxing means?
All right, let's say if I have an avatar on my channel of me, right, of my face, and you take that and put it up, that's not doxing. You know what I mean? Like, that's not doxing. Doxing is looking up people's information. Like, look, as soon as Tony Soflo came on the scene, he told the world, right, I'm going to dox you. I'm going to get you, right? What happened? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what's going on here. They can play coy all they want, the Babe in the Woods routine. The guy come out and said it. I'm gonna die. I believe Jimmy paid him to find out who I was, and it's just the writing's on the wall. It's so easy to see that. Like,
and then correct me if I'm wrong, Marie. Last night they also doxed Kane Shades, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yep, doxing Kane Shades, the whole nine. It's sick, man.
So now does that take
a family?
Figure out that all We Push Back members are now having to deal with that? It doesn't take a genius to put that puzzle together.
No, it don't. And if you think that's going to stop me, no, stool pigeons. All these rats out here, I will keep doing what I'm doing. That's not going to stop me. Yeah, actually, they did me a favor. I knew this was going to happen from the beginning. I was hoping it was somebody else that did it, but it worked out, and I'm happy that Jimmy did it. I wanted to. I almost showed my face a few times in the past where I thought about, let me just go on there, because I don't care. Really, I don't care if someone knows. Because what are they going to do to me? They're not going to kill me, or like, what are they going to do? You know?
Yeah.
So they doxed Kane Shades, huh? Or
yeah,
Kane Shades.
And he's got a family. He's got children and everything. They don't care about. And think about this: nobody's done that on if you want to call it our side or whatever. No one's done nothing like that to these people. I've never even said bad things about Jimmy's family. None of these people. I just take their words and make fun of them with it. I don't say degenerate stuff. I don't do low blows like that. Even FBI and gun poke. Look what they've just done to me. Do you see me doing evil stuff to them? Nope, not at all. And I won't because of my morals.
Wow. He's crazy, man. He lives with his grandparents. You would think
he don't care. He's a spoiled brat. You would think he would care more. Like what if I was malicious and I didn't have these morals? What if I didn't? What if I crank called him every day or sent pizzas there, a bunch of creepy stuff, which I'm not going to do, obviously. But like, he don't care about that. He's a selfish little boy. And then they use him, and he's a jealous little boy who's being used. And he don't care about his grandparents. And FBI don't care about his wife and his children by doing that.
Yeah, the whole thing with this going at women and families and children, I'm not okay. MRE, you remember I became the Punisher to go inside Pete's chat. You remember that?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I had to do that because I heard one of his mods had some information that I wanted personally. It wasn't to use the docs or do anything. It was something to have an ace in the hole in case somebody came at me, and I wanted to personally have that. So I went into that chat and I said some of the most despicable stuff that you could imagine to Josie, so I could fit in, so I could be part of that crowd. That same word that I would use, snappy nappy dugout, was used by everybody in that chat multiple times, including Tony himself. No time the Chicago Muscle used that verbiage, but Tony himself was on a show a few days ago, and everybody in that chat that was once a Tony supporter and still a Tony supporter was saying, yes, we heard that, man, including Johnny Mack, and it was all a lie. And it goes to show you how they will lie. See, I got no problem taking accountability. I personally apologized to Josie on her channel. I asked her to get on her live so I could tell her directly, and she said that's fine, I understand. But it didn't make it right what I did. But it killed me. It actually did. You know, we joked about it. I was in there. I was trolling for a while, but I found no pleasure in it because I had to be somebody that I wasn't. I had to act on certain beliefs that weren't me and be honest, be despicable to get along with the mob mentality And I think that's what goes on in a lot of these groups, these content creator channels. You get that mob mentality going down inside certain channels, because you know what? I've participated in the mob mentality on a certain content creator show, going at the same said woman. So I know how it's easy to get wrapped up in that mob mentality. But you know, at the end of the day, take responsibility for what you do. And I've always felt that way. So that's why I own up to my stuff. And most of these guys won't do that.
No.
They'll use excuses and they'll do whatever. You know,
Well, think about this. The Mac and them, they'll accuse this of doing this, and they never show proof. Show your proof, you know? They'll say, oh, New Beginnings docs my family. No, they didn't. Show the proof. Until you show the proof, shut up. Because no one believes you. The boy who cried wolf, all these guys. And Pizza's the most despicable simp in the world, this guy. That guy's a creep. He's a bully who tries to bully women. He's a creep.
Unfortunately, I just think this is the nature of the beast. I just think everybody's personality is going to dictate how they operate. And I feel as time goes by, those of us who have more in common are going to realize we have more in common than we initially thought, based on how we all conduct ourselves on here. And I think that's what's happening. People who have ideologies similar to us are kind of getting along a little better. People who are on the other side, now they're kind of grouping together and they're all finding their little team. And that's just the nature of the beast. That's just how it goes.
But their team is Team Cop, Team Rat, despicable, degenerate stuff.
Agreed. It's nothing I agree with, but that's what they believe in. That's what they believe in. And the same way, I was talking with these gentlemen earlier, just saying, I don't ever see us trying to convince them to think otherwise, but yet they're always doing their best to convince us. I find that very telling.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, gentlemen, if you don't have any other questions for me, I just got to head out. I really appreciate you inviting me on. I enjoyed speaking with all of you, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Dominic, for stopping by. And I have a great deal of respect for you, and I have a great deal of respect for your movement. Salute to the We Push Back movement.
I'll tell you what, as of this moment, and I'm pretty sure all three of my brothers over here can verify it, but we do support your We Push Back movement.
Well, I appreciate that, gentlemen. And thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your evening. MRE, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
MRE, is good to see you. We're waiting for Dominic to leave because Dominic is a gentleman, and me and my brothers have some opinions we needed to voice, and we didn't want to actually do it when Dominic was here. And ladies in the chat, you might want to cover your ears, because I'm one. I get real emotional and I get passionate, and when I say how I feel, and sometimes the verbiage is going to be a little bit heavy. Excuse the verbiage, but yeah, I'm going to be 100% who I am, and I'm going to let it be known. And my brothers feel the same way. At the end of the day, when we started this channel, we wanted to have a basic, honest dialogue with everybody. Me and my two brothers here, we have basically the same principles and outlook on how we see things. And we don't understand that this YouTube is entertainment, but at the end of the day, you have to stand for something. You have to be able to show what side you're on, not just comedy and jokes. And we're solid over here, but we love rats here. And you know, I've always respected you because you've made it clear you're here to go at scammers, you know, rats, and you've been consistent in who you are. But you get these other content creators. It's a comedy show. It's a circus. You know, 1 minute they're conversating on you know, we have this certain amount of time, and you know, you be a man, you don't snitch. But then yet a government cooperating witness jumps in the channel and they're praising him. He's the greatest thing since, you know, you don't stand for anything. You don't rap, but yet you're bragging about doxing. It's gotten to be a comedy spectacle. You come into the genre and you're going at two particular people, and then the next thing you know, they're best friends, they're on your channel, and you're going at somebody else. They apologize to you, and then the next thing you know, it's a comedy. It's a comedy circus. Let it be known from the get-go, you don't stand for anything. But don't wait to go at somebody and say, "Yo, I stand for this, and this is wrong." But meanwhile, you're okaying it. The hypocrisy is despicable. Be 100 with y'all shit. Be 100. Stop all this faking shit, laughing. Stop being a fucking comedy circus, and it goes across the board with these guys.
I couldn't agree more. I didn't watch that video last night, but a few people told me that they were on there just crying, and like even Canarsie calling me a rat and all this stuff. It's like, a rat? Like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, these guys he's a moron, man. Just 2 weeks ago, it was an Angel show. He's like, all right, bye. We said we won't talk about each other, whatever. And he goes on there screaming all this stuff. Yeah.
Anybody, I've never changed. I've always said anybody that woofs all that bullshit, rat this, rat that never seen paperwork, like that doesn't show shit right there saying it's dismissed. Look into the details why it was dismissed. Then if you find something legit, then you come back and you want to put that word, that's different. But it just shows you these motherfuckers ain't really about that, man. You know, the one they had, the one they used to do it ain't been nowhere, ain't never did anything. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, but you know, at the same time, I that shit bothers me because you know, I don't get down like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit's something serious. When you try to put that on somebody, that's serious shit. You know,
sure is. They also called me a pedophile at one point.
Oh, and I feel the same thing about that. I feel the same thing about that strongly. You know, bullshit.
Listen,
I've been called.
What it comes down to is this: when you go on YouTube and you dox someone because you don't like that person, you're taking that shit to their family, okay? Whether it be their kids, their mother, their grandparents, whatever. You're not giving two shits about that. But on the same note, if you got them balls to put that up there, you gotta have them balls when shit comes back to bite you in the ass.
You gotta have them balls to come out that door when they pull up.
You know, that not everybody on YouTube is a phony. I'm just putting it out there. They're not a phony. You know what I'm saying? There are some crazy ass people up there that will knock on your door.
Yes, I had a wrench in a few content creators channel, and those who I support, when I'm with you, I'm with you. I ride, and my loyalty is unquestionable. I stopped going to a particular content creator, but I gave him the respect to tell him that I wasn't going to go there anymore and wish him the best wishes. The narrative was spun that we did this eventually to go back at him to promote our channel. And if anybody knows us, we don't care about cash apps. We didn't care about subscribers. It wasn't done to make this grow. I'm happy to see 20 people in the chat as long as we're having a normal conversation, you know. But to see subscribers that I knew for a while call me Benedict Arnold and stuff like that when I left a particular subscriber as a gentleman and chose to not talk about certain people, it goes to show you how the mob mentality is and how despicable it is. At the end of the day, my name is my name, is who I am. And for every naysayer out there that has something sideways out their mouth to say about who I am, call me a flip-flop or whatever, there's 10 or 20 others that are going to stand up and say, you know what? That's one thing about that man that he's not. He's going to tell you how he feels. He's going to be honest, and he's going to back you up. For those who I've supported and chose to turn on me and say those things, you can say what you want. You yourself know that's a lie. You yourself know that's a lie.
Carlos has a lot of integrity. I've always respected Carlos, even when we disagreed or whatever. Like that time you stuck up for me and you told what the people, your buddies, and Big Sandy, and you stuck up for me many a times, and I appreciated that. I always respected Carlos, man. And to say he's a Benedict Arnold's ridiculous. Just because somebody's watching something and then they don't want to watch it no more because they don't agree with what's going on, that's not a traitor. That means that the man decided he didn't want to watch it. And you didn't go attack that guy. But, of course, he's going to play the role of but he even said in his own words, I always turn on people first. But they forget that. They forget that.
Exactly. I never stabbed a turn on nobody. I just straight up stopped watching. I got tired of hearing what I was hearing. But of course, like you said, he turned it into I'm the victim. You know, you're not saying that about other people. You're not saying that about other people. And then I said, what? I'm supposed to come out and say everything that I'm hearing that I don't like? And he says, yeah. I said, no, that's not how I work, dude. I just step away. You know what I mean? I just step away. I don't gotta put, you know what I mean?
The victim mentality is insane with those guys. Like they go up there, you got a whole show about drama and attacking people. It's like, so what do you expect's going to happen? Even like I never made fun of his wife, and I never will. But when you're sitting up there and you're ragging on people, doxing people, pulling up names, the whole nine, expect people to attack whoever's on the stream. That's going to happen. I would never put my wife, or if I had a wife, or I would never put my girlfriend on here. Never. I would never put her on here ever in a million years. Or anyone I cared about.
Old school. We don't. It's out of the question.
Yeah, there's no debate. And nope. Even if she wanted, I would be like, nope.
Right. Right. So yeah,
no women, no kids. And it's gotten to the point where it's despicable. You know, you see it all the time.
Well, what if I had children? They didn't care about that. What if I had kids or something like that? They didn't care about that. See, they don't play by the same rules. That we, at least we, you can call whatever we want or whatever, but we don't do things like that or do creepy stuff like that. Dox people, mess with their wives.
On top of the women and children not being involved, elderly people don't need to be involved, as well as people that are deceased. Family members that are deceased should be off limits and is sick when these fucking whatever, I don't even know what to call them, go at people's dead loved ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you plan on being a content creator and you plan on being on YouTube, it's real simple. Quit being sensitive, get thicker skin, or get off of it. Get off of it. Because you're gonna have people come at you. Trolls are part of this, just miserable people, it's all part of it. But what it is the sensitivity levels on this thing are off the chart. Everybody's sensitive, super sensitive. You know, the tough male generation is out the window. You know, now everything is victim mentality, you know, and nobody want to take accountability for their own stuff. It's comical. It's comical.
It is what it is, bro, you know.
And you can look at Pebbles and they're using my picture. Like, you know, like I get it though. Hey, I can't stop them from doing that. Go ahead, do it. But you don't see when, like I said, when they would come in my chat with FBI's real name, I would block them. But no, now with him, these people are they're the beta generation, rats, cop callers, flip floppers. That's all they are. I have no respect.
I don't like replicas. I don't like replicas. I don't.
Well,
I've never been okay with it.
Pebbles is a big replica right there.
Oh yeah, there's a few.
You know, and it's weird because we've had, during this whole time, we've only had maybe 2 people I've actually booted off. Because I give everybody a chance. You want to express your opinion, that's fine. But when you get into the cursing at the person and you're this and you're that, nah, that's not, you're not giving an opinion. You're just being an asshole.
Yeah, Pebbles, how am I a white supremacist? Who am I superior over? How am I superior over other people, you idiot? You're an idiot, FBS simp, that you guys are a bunch of doxing rats. That's all you are. And you didn't and tell your goofy rat friend Jimmy, it didn't work because I'm going to hammer Jimmy this week so bad. Jimmy's going to have a tough time sitting down. You can believe that. Really believe that. But hey, guys, I got to take my dog out and stuff and do some things. I want to thank you guys for having me on. And I did share it every time I see you guys go live. I always share everybody's when they go live.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. And guys, thanks for sticking up for me. I appreciate it. And God bless you. Later, guys.
You have a good one, MRE.
Yep.
Boom. So yeah, that was.
Now we could look at the comment section and see what's going on.
I've been going on it here and there, and
no, I went back.
Lou, you got stuff to say. You got stuff to get off your chest, Lou. We can do it. You can do it.
I went back and watched this video today, and you know, like I said, I already spoke up about the rat being called a rat thing, but you know, I heard him out, and I got a basic, you know, if that was once his ideology, if it was, you know, it was, you know, but the way he's always, like you said, traded you and me and Nelson and some other people, you know, I haven't seen that, you know, and so I'm not gonna base my opinion of him off that, you know what I'm saying? I heard he says he got other soldier tattoos. They literally you know, just brought up the Nazi stuff he had and not and not all the other things that he had as well. And like I had mentioned to you guys, a friend of the channel who we had on before, he had in the background he had a hat that belonged to a German, I'm not sure if it was the if it was the not the Sapo, the SS. I'm not sure, but it was linked back to the Germany, and and he's just a collector. He collected it, So everybody's got their own opinion and how they feel with their feelings, but your feelings are not going to trump my feeling of how I feel or what my conclusion is. You know what I'm saying? And I'll have a conversation with that person. But yeah, I got to base off what I've seen and how I've been treated. And I've lived around guys that were skinheads, you know what I mean, in different facilities I've been, and they always showed me respect, even though they had the boots on them in 1488 and the actual picture of Hitler and all the other stuff. They still treated me with respect, And do I agree with that ideology? Of course not, but it is what it is, And so that being said, until I'm treated such as in that type of fashion or being talked to like that or hear that type of talk, then I can't
listen, bro. It ain't like other content providers that call us spics and all kind of shit, right? But ain't nobody going after them. Ain't nobody talking no shit, bro. That's all bull. So bull. Everybody picks their own. Oh no, just get the fuck out of that bullshit.
Right. So that's where I'm at with that. But
that's what it is. At the end of the day, we can all agree to disagree. That's just part of it. But at the end of the day, I'll be clear. At no time I want to do this because I've seen this happen before. And no time are we going to tell subscribers you can leave and we're going to be fine. That's not what you send a message to any subscriber. You don't do that. Subscribers are what pump this mechanism. Yes, but we have our own beliefs and our own principles, and they don't have to necessarily go along with yours. But we're not going to change on how we feel or how we view things. That's just, it is what it is. If you could respect that and accept that for it, then that's fine. But if you can't, then I don't know what to tell you. At no time have I ever thought, as soon as that got released, I didn't believe it. I'm not worrying about body markings. I'm worried about the content of somebody's character, how they treat me, what they've shown me. Because at the end of the day, let's just say all the racists, their body was to automatically mark up with tattoos for the amount of racism that's inside them. There'd be people out here you wouldn't even be able to see the body. They'd be covered head to toe with tattoos. So you can't let that shit define who somebody is. It's bogus. It's a bullshit ass narrative. The bullshit ass narrative.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then to see people who that same man has treated kindly with respect and talk to them in their chats and shown them respect, turn on them without proof because of certain words and certain body markings on him. Look at yourselves before you go running your mouth. It's weak. And to say how could a Puerto Rican defend somebody? Real simple. I'm not looking at them body markings. They might be disrespectful to many, and they're allowed to feel that way. But I'm dealing with the man. He has not shown me that. So at no time am I going to buy that and believe that that's who he is because he got body markings on him. What about the ones that don't have the body markings who are sitting here doing the same thing? And you clowns over there praising them, conversating with them, platforming them. It's pathetic. Don't sit there and talk about us. Look at yourself first before you go running your mouth. It's real simple.
Real white supremacist guys don't do drugs and they don't tattoo themselves. They're usually clean guys, they'll shave their heads sometimes, but yeah. So I can't go off that. I go off how he's treated me and how he spoke to me. Always respectful, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the way it is, man.
Well,
and these chats are going by quick.
Yeah, people hit that like button.
Yes. Everybody in the chat here, excuse us. We get a little emotional. At least I do.
In our opinion, you should hit the damn like chat.
We appreciate everybody stopping by. We appreciate everybody joining in. But hit that like button.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're not gonna ask for no cash apps.
I got mine down at the bottom because I got one there, put it down. So we're not gonna come on here and be like, you have to, give me. Nah, man, that's not the way it works.
But yeah, people, I know this. like I heard them say it today, this is all entertainment. Yeah, it is. But it does, there's even sitting here entertaining, we all have views and principles and codes that we live by. And I'm not sacrificing my code for subscribers, for views, for likes, for super chats. If I feel a certain way, that's how I feel. You know, I don't deal with rats. I'm not going to sit there and tell you I can't stand rats. And 15, 20 minutes later, I'm out there smiling, praising another one. And yet I'm knocking somebody else in the meantime, bragging about doxing somebody. Yeah. It's comical. Well, you clowns, look at yourself. Well, you start looking at others. Look at yourself. I'm not going to say names. I'm not giving you clowns energy. Y'all more or less know who y'all are. That bullshit. Y'all convicted that man without any proof because of some body markings. You know, check yourself with that nonsense.
Who timed Michael Hensley out?
I've seen a couple of times.
I like Michael Hensley. I've had a rapport with Michael Hensley. But Michael Hensley's been like a broken tape recorder with this nonsense. He's going at Emery about a particular despicable woman who's done some foul stuff. And he's going at him about that particular woman and then goes back and says he can't stand Josie. So it's okay because you don't like Josie. It's fine. You won't speak up on it. You won't get mad at somebody going at Josie, but yet you want to go get mad at this content creator. You know, it's ridiculous. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. You're going to be mad across the board. I'll say it here. At no time am I cool with any of that, going at any woman or any of that stuff. But you know what? If that's going to be your message, keep it consistent across the board. Don't say it's wrong to go at women and then sit there and put up a guest. That's all that person does. It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
But you know what? You get the fanatical supporters, and I say the word fanatical supporters because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, what that person does or says, they're not gonna see it. They're gonna ride with them and ride with them and ride with them, and then ride with other people that they don't like because it just so happens like they hate them one day. But my master over here is cool with this guy now, so let me go over here with this guy. Come on, man, check yourself. That fake ass shit.
Yeah.
Be consistent in who you are. And for those the naysayers that want to comment, you can say whatever you want. Make fun of my teeth. That's what you got. I'm not no flip-flopper. I'm not no Benedict Arnold. I keep it a buck and I stand on mine. And I've been consistent. And there's there's many here that have been with me through this journey that can verify that.
Ben Larson, what's up, buddy? Yep. None of that's definitely no flip flopping over here.
Say everybody has their own opinion. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own opinion, but you should respect the opinions of others also. We can't go with what you just say and that's it. That's not the way it floats, man.
Exactly. Like I don't want to tell nobody who to visit or whatever. Look at Michael Moormill. Michael Moormill was a subscriber who had a wrench in pieces chat. Yeah. He came here. He was a gentleman, and he tripped us out because we said, you know, this guy seems like he's on the ball. How could you go support somebody like that? Did we tell him get out of here, do none of that stuff? No, we told him, you know, stay in the chat, and maybe somewhere down the line, eventually see like me. I've seen it. We've conversated about this, Nelson. Before I distance myself from people, you knew almost a month ahead of time where I was going, what was my stages. And it took one incident to finally push it that way. Like I always say, I always got a meter that's at 100. And you do certain things. I'm not going to eliminate you on one strike. You go from 90 to 95, to 85 to 80. When you hit 65, which is almost basically failing, that's when I cut you off. And I've done it with a few. And I've done it with a few content creators. And that was just my personal choice. It had nothing to do with leaving them to promote a channel or that's people having a big ass head thinking more of themselves than they are. It's not why I did that. You know, at the end of the day, all this drama, it gets to be tiring. And I know it's entertaining. You got people that pay for it all day just to have that drama because it fills some inner void in them and it gives them some kind of enjoyment. If it didn't, there wouldn't be Jerry Springer. It wouldn't be all these shows that everybody watched. But that same thing with the magazines. You couldn't go into a supermarket without seeing the Inquirer, without seeing all this stuff because people like that gossip. They like the drama. you know. But that's not what we do here. You know, if that's your platform and that's what you choose to do, that's fine. You know, but don't be hypocritical on your stuff. You know,
Michael Hensley. I don't know what was said about the girl, the lady, but you're saying it can't compare. But I heard that guy over there in Pennsylvania talk about getting that lady's information, Josie, and destroying her life by calling her job and all that other shit. Now that's pretty fucked up. You know what I mean? Because he might not be doing it, but he's putting it out there for somebody else to do it.
Carol, which one?
That's you know, that's not okay either. You know. So
what's real? Danny Stories, Kyle Mahal, good to see you. David S. Cameron, Sven Larson, BK Skip, Claudio Perry, good to see you. 556 Media, salute. Thank you, everybody that's in the chat. I know we didn't have to give us. I'm used to giving love and comment section and giving shout outs, but we were so focused on letting Dominic Crea, you know, speak to us without being interrupted, so you guys could get the message. And like I said, I like the subscribers. Subscribers are what pump this mechanism. And at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree. You know, there's subscribers here that I beefed with at one point, and we disagreed to the utmost extremes. But at the end of the day, we want to find a balance. Now, you're not going to be best friends with everyone, but you can have a mutual respect and leave it as it is, you know? And I've done that. And to get flack for it, like, oh, you couldn't stand this person. Yeah. But behind all of that, sometimes there's certain things that you understand why. And again, I'll bring up a situation. The Troll Army. I was a big, I bumped head with Troll Army across the board. Gianni Russo, Anthony Ramundi, Grant Calder. But then we built a rapport. We found out we can agree to disagree, you know, and there's certain principles. Like Grant, people to this day still talk about mine and Grant's relationship.
Yes.
I had my issue with Grant was he was going at women, and that bothered me because they were calling me a white knight. And yeah, I could be a white knight. But when I understood from a third party why he was doing what he did, then I understood why he was doing it, and it was a broader message. We became good, and you know what? People can say what they want. At the end of the day, I have a respect for him. I have respect for trolls. I have certain trolls I have a respect, and MRE is one of them. Not all trolls are the same. We got Bofa in there. I love Bofa. Bofa can say what he wants, but Bofa trolls. Bofa trolls, and I could get mad at Bofa like I did last night and still have a mutual respect for him. It is what it is, you know. But you know, if you're loyal to somebody and they're your friend, keep that loyalty. You know, you see that your friend is in a chat getting attacked. Speak up. Don't sit there, entertain, do mob mentality, or throw up cash apps when the person on the thing is over there saying despicable things about certain people. You sitting there laughing, entertaining that stuff, especially when somebody's held you down, you know, and then go back and then call somebody a traitor. Why? Because somebody chose to distance themselves, or maybe not deal with you because maybe they got tired of they didn't agree with how you carrying yourself and you doing, you know.
Yeah, you know how that works, bro. It is what it is.
No, but I'm adjusting it because I know some of them are here.
Yep.
You know, you were cool with me when I was in a certain group. Now you're not cool with me. Now I'm a traitor because I chose to distance myself from somebody. Man, get out of here with that nonsense, man.
Yeah.
Well, but I think we had a good show.
We had a good
show. And I thank everybody for showing up. It was a pleasure having Dominic Crea on.
Definitely. And like I said, man, you know, I see people in the chat like Leanne Coleslaw, Pebbles, all these people, you know, that's your opinion. Your opinion matters to you. It'll be heard, but we have our own opinion, and that's how we judge things. You know what I'm saying? If we're wrong in the long run, guess what? We'll be mad enough to come out here and say, damn, we were wrong. And we do it in person, not none of that, you know, online shit. Fuck that.
Nah, we're not knocking you for who you support. No, we're not knocking you for who you support at no time. You know, but don't be mad because somebody chose to do something different.
Yes.
You know? And it might be okay because you can go at somebody else with that, but at the end, certain people they take offense to that, you know. It bothers me when I'm called stuff
Yeah.
like that. Honestly, I've been who I am from the first day to the last. Not changed.
Thank you.
Because I decided to distance myself. But I've experienced that. When I came into the genre, I was with a certain content creator, and then I seen where it was going, and I seen where it was, and I distanced myself. And you want to laugh? At the end of the day, as much as I can never support that man or be his best friend, he showed me something today. He actually spoke up, and he's actually been a different person. And you had subscribers in the comment section saying, "Oh, somewhere down the line, he's gonna go right back to that guy." No, but I can give credit where credit is due.
Yep.
You know, he's changing. It might be his new partner he got alongside him that's helping him influence, or maybe he realized, let me not work off emotions and change stories because I want to get back. You know, and you know what? And I'll do something even more. I won't call him by the name I gave him. I'll call him by what his name is, and his name is Lee Cole III. And he shocked me today by going to somebody's chat and voicing his opinion when nobody else was doing that same thing. And I could respect that. I could respect that. MB from Troll Army, who's been an arch enemy. We've been enemies. We don't like each other. But at the end of the day, I can give her a little bit. I can give her respect, and she gave me mine. She spoke up in the chat and said, "That's one thing I might not like that man, but he tells the truth." And you know what? And I can say this about her. You might not like her, what she does, her videos or whatever, but she has principles. She has her own code that she lives by, and she won't sacrifice them. And we've seen it firsthand. Her and the rest of them, when they left a certain content creator because of what was happening. And it's not to say we're going to become best friends, but you can give somebody their respect. You can give them their prop. You can say that. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Both, I'm going to talk about my world later on. Later on.
And then you have David S. Cameron. You have so many subscribers here who I personally watch defend me in other channels.
Yes.
Actually defend me in other channels. And that's what it's about. You know, it's the same way that you deal with the bullying. The kids are going through this in school. If you rock with somebody and you like this particular content subscriber and somebody's going at them, speak up for that person. Say, no, you know what? We might not agree, but I don't feel he's like that. I feel he's like this or she's like that. You can do that. Yeah. Don't worry about the repercussions for somebody. Just voice it. Stick up for somebody. And I've watched that countless times. And the worst part, when you see almost strangers do it, and people who you thought you had a rapport with them sit there and go at you.
Thank you.
Because they happen to love the master that's the owner of that channel so much more than you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
I think with this being said, this was a good show. I think I'm gonna leave it with man, that doxing, bro, that shit's gotta stop for real. Somebody's gonna get hurt, man.
Bragging about doxing, offering money. That goes across the board. I'm not singling anybody out. It has to stop. There's nothing cool about that shit. No. You can't sit there 1 minute talking about straight up, stand up, did this, did that, and now you're over there putting bounty on people's head and finding it funny. Come on, man. Get a grip on this shit. You don't have to like somebody. Tell your people don't go to their channel. You don't have to go to those steps and do that nonsense.
Yeah.
And as far as Yankees for life, those are colognes back here, my brother.
Yeah, good.
That's my hobby. I love fragrances.
Good night,
They're
Angela.
all cologne.
We'll see you on the next show.
Angela, how you doing? Good to see you. Scott Bell, Armchair NBA.
Oliver, Danny
Stories.
556 Media, Angela.
Even Michael Hensley. We can agree to disagree with brother. And I told you yesterday, we agree to disagree. We might not see each other, but I won't disrespect you. And I won't turn on you. You might not like me, but you know what? I'll still say hi to you. If you don't agree with my stance on certain things, I'll still say hi to you. And thank you for your service. Nikki Blade.
Oh.
Minnesota Fats, both for King NYC. James Lund. Stacy. My brother Yankees for life. Montauk.
Austin Red.
Oh, Boston Red second. That's right. Oliver Sutton. Oh yes. Those are all my Frank Drebin. Those are all my brothers from across the pond. Amber Alert. Good to see you, Amber Alert. Mods, don't try to time Amber Alert out. It won't work.
Yeah. Nah, Amber's been good, man. It's been good in this one.
Oh no, Amber Alert's
We got
awesome.
some good people up in here, bro. And like
Oh
I
no,
said,
we definitely do.
just
definitely
definitely
do.
difference of opinion, man, doesn't make us feel any different, bro. That's just how we are.
Look at this right now.
Big
Giove
Paul.
Looney. Me and Giove Looney have been going at each other for what? At least 4 months. New subscriber. You're welcome. And thank you for coming in here. And you're always gonna have my respect. This is what it's about. You can not like somebody one day and have a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Westies, I can go on with all the subscribers that were here today that at one time we didn't have a rapport, and now we have a rapport. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
See, the content creators tend to forget the subscribers are what pump is. What do you think? You know, even when it comes down to the super chats, they pump this mechanism. You know, this is what it's about. You can't forget about the little guy.
Yeah.
Put egos aside and stuff like that. And to tell somebody, you know, don't come here no more, or if you happen to leave, you know, my channel's gonna still continue to go. That's the wrong message. You might be sending it to one person, but in all reality, if everybody in that chat is listening to that, they're talking about you too. Because somewhere down the line, you might be that person. You don't do that.
Yep.
But that happens when you come at it with a business aspect, and at the end of the day, and you see that all the time, because it's a business. It comes down to this right here. It's about them donations.
Yeah, we got a good rapport with our people. You know what I'm saying? We've actually had our conversations after the show. You know, if somebody really feels that strongly about something, they can always reach out, and we have a private, you know, a one-on-one, you know, whatever. It's just the way it is.
Shout out to Chicago Muscle.
Shout out to Chicago.
Adam of production.
I seen him, but I
don't see him. Do you hear?
Nah, he's probably around there somewhere.
Right.
He's probably around there somewhere. So, gentlemen, I guess we did our shout outs. We did what we had to do. Any last things to say before we bounce?
I want to thank everybody who came and showed their love. They came and voiced their opinions, and I'm glad you guys showed up, and hopefully you guys will be back. And Angel just went live, so if everybody wants to continue this mob genre thing, go to Angel Gotti. She got a show. It's an interview, and it should be where it's at. And once again, thank all the subscribers for showing up. Definitely. Shout out to Dominic Crea, Justice Tech Pros. Shout out to the We Push Back movement. You know, shout out to Mob Rats Exposed.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Armchair. Shout out to all the content creators, whether I agree with you or not.
Definitely. And with that being said, oh, look at that. Yeshua, look what Yeshua put on our screen.
I appeal to you, brothers and sisters, that one? Yeah, I appeal to you, brothers and sisters, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree with one another in what you say, and that there be no division among you. Yeah.
Michael Hensley, that's your opinion, brother. And there's nothing wrong with it. You served this country. You were there to protect our freedoms, and that's part of our freedoms. You know, we have the right to agree to disagree. It's what makes this country what it is. People have sacrificed and paid the ultimate sacrifice to protect those freedoms. So I can respect how you feel. You know, respect how I feel. It won't change. We can agree to disagree, brother. It's just that simple.
Yes, sir.
It is what it is. As long as you listen, bro. As long as a person keeps it real with one another, or you know, we all treat each other the same way with respect. We ain't gonna have no issues like that, man. Always take care of your drama on a personal level. Go talk to the person. Get it out the way. Don't do the damn freaking doxing bullshit, because it ain't getting you nowhere but getting your views and freaking subs.
Yeah.
I respect that, Michael Hensley, and you should. You know, but that's I understand it because we all have our personal code inside, our personal beliefs, and I can respect that. I can respect it. You know, but again, everybody, thank you for showing up at the No Fly Zone. Can you please hit that like and subscribe button? And thank you for showing up, Lou,
Hey,
Nelson, my brothers.
Carlos, before we go, read this one that just got up on the screen. This is from Mike Ward.
Mike Ward, HVAC, absolutely. 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 I agree with that 100%.
Perfect time.
You know, every day we have jury trials in this country, and everybody accumulates evidence, and then people draw their own conclusion. But it's never good to cast somebody guilty without all the facts. It's just not. It's not. And that being said, everybody have a good one. Thank you for showing up again. Be easy, my brothers. Be easy, everybody.
I will see you guys in the next room.
Yeah, we're gonna go give Angel Gotti some support.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks to everybody, like always, for stopping by. And don't be afraid to hit that like button, share, and subscribe.
On your way out. That's right.
Yeah, we're almost at 400. So
there you go. Take care, guys.
Yep. All right, fellas. Thanks.
Be easy, my brothers. Be easy.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.